The Great Hall of the Galactic Council was quiet. Hundreds of alien species sat in their seats. They watched the large screen that showed a small blue planet. Earth. The newest discovery in the galaxy. Ambassador Vrel stood at the center of the hall. He was tall, with gray skin and 4 arms. His species, the Torani, had served the Council for thousands of years. Today, he had an important job. He would invite humanity to join the galactic family. The humans have shown great promise, Vrel said to the Council. They built ships that can travel between stars in just 50 years. This is faster than any other species in our records. Whispers filled the hall. The alien leaders looked at each other with surprise. Elder Torek, the oldest member of the Council, raised his hand. He was small, with blue feathers covering his body. His species, the Keth, were known for their wisdom. 50 years? Torek asked. It took my people 300 years to achieve the same thing. Are you certain about this information? Vrel nodded. I am certain, Elder. The humans are remarkable. They learn fast. They adapt fast. They grow fast. On Earth, in a tall building in Seoul, a woman named Yuna sat at her desk. She was the chief diplomat for Earth's united government. Her job was to speak with the aliens who had contacted them 6 months ago. Yuna was 35 years old. She had long black hair and sharp eyes. She was smart and careful with her words. The leaders of Earth trusted her completely. Her assistant, a young man named Tay, walked into her office. He carried a tablet in his hands. The Council has sent their official offer, Tay said. He placed the tablet on her desk. Yuna picked it up and read the message. Her eyes moved slowly across the screen. The more she read, the more her face became serious. This is everything, she whispered. Tay nodded. Yes. They are offering us full membership in the Galactic Council. They want to share their technology with us. Medical technology that can cure any disease. Energy systems that never run out. Weapons that can destroy entire planets. Yuna put down the tablet. What else? Protection treaties, Tay continued. If any species attacks Earth, the entire Council will defend us. They are also offering to send teachers to help us understand their science. And they want to give us 3 colony planets for free. Yuna stood up and walked to the window. She looked out at the city below. Millions of people lived their lives without knowing about this offer. An offer that could change everything. It is too much, she said quietly. Tay looked confused. Too much? This is the greatest gift anyone could give us. We would become one of the most powerful species in the galaxy overnight. Yuna turned to face him. And that is exactly the problem. In the Council Hall, Ambassador Vrel prepared for his trip to Earth. He had done this many times before. He had invited dozens of species to join the Council. Every single one had accepted with joy and gratitude. The humans will be excited, Vrel said to Elder Torek. Young species always are. They will see what we offer, and they will accept immediately. Torek was not so sure. I have studied the humans for months. They are different from other species. They have a strange pride. A strange need to do things on their own. Vrel laughed. All young species have pride. But pride disappears when you see advanced technology. Trust me, Elder. The humans will accept. 2 weeks later, Vrel's ship landed in Seoul. Yuna and Tay met him at the landing site. Soldiers stood guard around them, but they kept their weapons down. This was a peaceful meeting. Vrel stepped out of his ship. He was much taller than the humans. His 4 arms moved gracefully as he walked toward them. Greetings, Vrel said. I am Ambassador Vrel of the Torani. I come with gifts and friendship from the Galactic Council. Yuna bowed her head slightly. Welcome to Earth, Ambassador. I am Yuna, Chief Diplomat. This is my assistant, Tay. We are honored by your visit. Vrel smiled. At least, it looked like a smile. The honor is mine. Shall we discuss the Council's offer? They walked into a large meeting room. Vrel explained everything that the Council wanted to give humanity. He spoke for 2 hours. He described the technology, the protection, the colony planets, and the teachers who would come to Earth. Yuna listened carefully. She did not interrupt. She wrote notes on her tablet. Tay sat beside her, his eyes wide with amazement. When Vrel finished, he leaned back in his chair. So, what do you say? Will humanity accept our invitation? Yuna looked at her notes. Then she looked at Tay. Finally, she looked at Ambassador Vrel. Ambassador, the people of Earth are grateful for this offer. We understand the value of what you are giving us. Vrel nodded happily. Excellent. Then we can begin the process of... However, Yuna interrupted. We must respectfully decline. The room went silent. Vrel's forearms froze in the air. His smile disappeared. Decline, he repeated. I do not understand. Did I explain the offer poorly? No, Yuna said. You explained it very well. We understand everything. And we are saying no. Vrel stared at her. In his 200 years of service, no species had ever refused the Council's offer. Not once. Perhaps there is some confusion, Vrel said slowly. We are offering you everything. Technology. Protection. Planets. All of it for free. Yuna nodded. Yes. And that is why we must refuse. Tay shifted nervously in his seat. Even he was surprised by Yuna's firm refusal. Vrel stood up. His gray skin had become darker, a sign of stress in his species. I must report this to the Council. They will not understand. Then please help them understand, Yuna said calmly. Humanity is grateful. But we are not ready to accept gifts we did not earn. Vrel left Earth that night. His ship flew back to the Council headquarters faster than it had ever flown before. When he arrived, the Great Hall was full. Every species had heard the news. The humans had refused. The impossible had happened. Vrel stood at the center of the hall. His forearms hung at his sides. He looked tired and confused. They said no, he announced. They rejected everything. The hall exploded with noise. Aliens shouted questions. Some laughed nervously. Others looked afraid. Elder Torek raised his hand for silence. The hall slowly became quiet. Tell us exactly what they said, Torek ordered. Vrel took a deep breath. The human diplomat said they were grateful. But she said they were not ready to accept gifts they did not earn. I do not know what this means. Torek closed his eyes. His blue feathers moved gently. I warned you. The humans are different. A tall alien with red scales stood up. His name was Noth. And he was the military commander of the Council. This is dangerous, Noth said. In our history, only one type of species refuses diplomacy. Species that are planning war. Fear spread through the hall like fire. The aliens looked at each other with worried eyes. Are the humans planning to attack us? Someone shouted. We must prepare our fleets. Another voice cried. Elder Torek raised his hand again. Calm yourselves. We do not know the humans' true intentions. We must learn more before we make any decisions. But the damage was done. The seed of fear had been planted. And in the minds of the Galactic Council, humanity had just become the most dangerous species in the universe. 3 days passed since Ambassador Vrel returned from Earth. The Galactic Council could not stop talking about the humans. Every meeting, every conversation, every thought was about the strange blue planet that had refused their gifts. Elder Torek sat in his private chamber. He read reports about humanity, their history, their wars, their achievements. The more he read, the more confused he became. These creatures had spent most of their existence fighting each other. They had created weapons that could destroy their own planet. They had polluted their air and water. They had done terrible things to their own kind. But they had also done beautiful things. They had created art and music that moved Torek's heart. They had built hospitals and schools. They had traveled to their moon with technology that was simple and primitive. And they had never given up. What are you? Torek whispered to himself. What do you want? A knock came at his door. It was Commander Noth, the military leader. Elder, we need to talk, Noth said. His red scales gleamed under the lights. Torek sighed. "Come in." Noth entered and sat across from the old Keth. His eyes were serious. "The council is afraid. They want answers." "I do not have answers," Torek admitted. "Then we must get them," Noth replied. "I propose we send a larger delegation to Earth. More ambassadors, more scientists, and a small military presence. Just to observe." Torek shook his head. "If we send military ships, the humans might think we are threatening them. That could make things worse." "And if we do nothing?" Noth asked. "The humans are building more ships every day. Their technology is improving faster than we predicted. If they are planning something, we need to know now." Torek was quiet for a long moment. Then he nodded slowly. "Very well. But no weapons. Only observers. And I will lead the delegation myself." On Earth, Yuna was facing her own problems. The leaders of the United Government were not happy with her decision. In a large meeting room, she stood before 12 of the most powerful people on the planet. Presidents, prime ministers, and generals. They all looked at her with confusion and anger. "You refused everything?" President Kim asked. He was an older man with gray hair. "Technology that could cure cancer? Energy that could end poverty?" "Yes, sir," Yuna replied calmly. "Why?" General Park demanded. He was a large man with a stern face. "This makes no sense. We could become the most powerful species in the galaxy." Yuna took a deep breath. "And then what? We become powerful because someone gave us power, not because we earned it. What happens when we face a problem that their technology cannot solve? We will not know how to think. We will not know how to create. We will only know how to receive." Tay stood beside her. He had been quiet, but now he spoke up. "There is another problem," Tay said. "The Council has never met a species that refused their help. Every other species accepted immediately. They became dependent on the Council. They stopped growing on their own." Prime Minister Lee leaned forward. She was a sharp woman who always asked hard questions. "How do you know this?" "We have studied every species in the Council's records," Tay explained. Before joining, many of them were creative and ambitious. After joining, they stopped inventing. They stopped exploring. They just consumed what the Council gave them. The room was silent. The leaders looked at each other. "So, you are saying the Council's gifts are actually a trap?" President Kim asked. "Not a trap," Yuna said. "The Council is not evil. They genuinely want to help. But their help has unintended consequences. Species that receive everything stop working for anything." General Park crossed his arms. "Even if that is true, we have made enemies of the most powerful alliance in the galaxy. They might attack us." "They will not attack," Yuna said. "Not yet. They are confused, not angry. We need to help them understand." Back at the Council headquarters, Elder Torek prepared his delegation. He chose carefully. Ambassador Vrel would come, despite his failure. 2 scientists from different species would join them, and Torek himself would lead. No military, no weapons, just questions. Their ship traveled through space for 2 days. During the journey, Torek called a meeting with his team. "We must approach this carefully," Torek said. "The humans are not like other species. They think differently, feel differently." Ambassador Vrel was still confused. "I have met many species, Elder. Young species are always eager to advance. They want power and technology. Why would humans be different?" ABM, one of the scientists, a small creature named Benna, spoke up. She had 6 eyes that blinked at different times. "I have studied human biology. Their brains are remarkable. They have a part that no other species has. It controls something they call pride." "Pride?" Vrel repeated. "What is that?" "It is hard to explain," Benna said. "Humans feel good when they achieve something difficult. They feel bad when something is given to them too easily. It is a strange emotion." Torek nodded slowly. So when we offered them everything, they felt bad instead of good? Possibly, Benna said. But I am still learning. Human emotions are very complex. The ship arrived at Earth. This time, Yuna met them with a larger delegation. Tay was there, along with several scientists and diplomats. They gathered in the same meeting room as before. But this time, the mood was different. Both sides were careful and curious. Elder Torek spoke first. I am Torek, Elder of the Galactic Council. I came to understand. Please help me understand. Yuna appreciated his honest words. Thank you for coming, Elder. I know our refusal confused you. Confused and worried, Torek admitted. In our history, species that refuse diplomacy are usually planning violence. Are humans planning violence? No, Yuna said firmly. We have no interest in war with the Council. We only want to grow on our own terms. Vrel leaned forward. But why? Our gifts would have made your lives so much better. No more disease. No more hunger. No more struggle. Tay answered this question. Ambassador, struggle is how humans grow. We need challenges to become stronger. If you remove all challenges, you remove our reason to improve. The aliens looked at each other. This concept was hard for them to understand. Benna, the scientist, raised a small hand. May I ask a question? On my planet, we have a saying, a gift is always good. Do humans not believe this? Yuna smiled softly. On Earth, we have a different saying. Give a man a fish, and he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish, and he eats for a lifetime. Torek's blue feathers moved with interest. You want us to teach you? Not give you? Not even that, Yuna said. We want to learn by ourselves. To make our own mistakes. To find our own solutions. That is how humanity has always grown. Vrel shook his head. But this will take you thousands of years. We could give you the answers today, and those answers would belong to you, not us, Yuna replied. We want answers that belong to humanity. Answers that we discovered with our own minds and hands. Elder Torek was silent for a long time. He looked at Yuna with his ancient eyes. In his 2,000 years of life, he had never met a species like this. You are strange creatures, Torek finally said. But I am beginning to understand. Does this mean the Council will accept our decision? Tay asked hopefully. Torek sighed. I cannot promise that. Many in the Council are still afraid. They think your refusal means you are hiding something. Perhaps weapons. Perhaps an army. Yuna's face became serious. We are hiding nothing. We simply want to earn our place in the galaxy. I believe you, Torek said. But believing is not enough. The Council needs proof. The meeting ended without a clear resolution. But something had changed. Torek understood the humans a little better. And that understanding was a small light in the darkness of fear. On his way back to the ship, Torek stopped and looked at the sky. The sun was setting, painting the clouds in orange and red. Beautiful, he whispered. Yuna stood beside him. We call it sunset. It happens every day. But it is always different. My planet has no sun, Torek said. We live in darkness. But we have learned to make our own light. Yuna nodded. That is exactly what humanity wants to do. Make our own light. Torek looked at her. For the first time, he truly understood. And for the first time, he was not afraid of the humans. He was impressed, but he knew the Council would not be so easily convinced. The fear was spreading, and fear was a dangerous thing. Elder Torek returned to the Council headquarters with hope in his heart. He had spoken with the humans. He had looked into their eyes. He had seen no evil, no hatred, no war. Only pride and determination. But hope was not enough to calm the Council. When Torek entered the Great Hall, he felt the tension immediately. Thousands of aliens sat in their seats. Their eyes were fixed on him. Some looked curious. Most looked afraid. Commander Noth stood at the center of the hall. His red scales seemed darker than before, a sign of stress and anger. Elder Torek, Noth said, what did you learn on Earth? Torek walked slowly to join him. His old bones were tired from the long journey. I learned that the humans are not our enemies. They are simply different. They want to grow on their own. They do not want our gifts because they want to earn their achievements. Whispers filled the hall. Some aliens nodded. Others shook their heads in disbelief. That is what they told you, Noth said. But can we trust their words? I looked into their eyes, Torek replied. I saw truth. Noth made a sound of frustration. Eyes can lie, Elder. Words can lie. But actions cannot lie. And their actions are clear. They are building ships. They are improving their weapons. They are preparing for something. A large alien with purple skin stood up. Her name was Mira, and she was the leader of the Vorn species. I have received reports from our observers near Earth. The humans are working faster than ever. Their production has doubled since they refused our offer. Fear spread through the hall like a wave. You see? Noth said. They are not innocent. They are planning something. We must act before it is too late. Torek raised his hand. Wait. Let us think about this carefully. The humans are working harder because they want to prove themselves. Not because they want war. You cannot know that, Mira argued. For all we know, they could be building weapons to destroy us all. The hall erupted in noise. Aliens shouted opinions and fears. Some demanded immediate action. Others called for more investigation. The chaos grew louder and louder. Finally, Commander Noth raised his voice. Silence. The hall became quiet. I propose a military response, Noth announced. Not an attack. A show of strength. We will send our fleets to the space near Earth. We will show the humans that we are watching. That we are ready. Torek felt his heart sink. Commander, this is a mistake. If we send military ships, the humans will think we are threatening them. It will destroy any chance of peaceful relations. Peaceful relations? Noth laughed bitterly. They already rejected peace. They do not want diplomacy. What else can they want except war? The council voted. Torek watched as hand after hand rose in favor of Noth's proposal. The fear was too strong. The unknown was too frightening. The vote passed. Military fleets would move to Earth's sector. On Earth, the news arrived quickly. Human observers detected hundreds of alien ships moving toward their solar system. The ships stopped just outside, watching and waiting. The leaders of Earth gathered in an emergency meeting. Fear was now on both sides. They are surrounding us, General Park said. His face was pale. Our weapons cannot match their technology. If they attack, we will not survive. President Kim looked at Yuna. This is what your refusal caused. Now they think we are enemies. Yuna stood tall despite the pressure. We are not enemies. They are afraid because they do not understand us. We need to help them understand. How? Prime Minister Lee asked. They have sent their military. They are not interested in talking. Tay stepped forward. There might be a way. The Galactic Council has a rule. Any species can request an emergency session. If we request one, they must listen to us. Will they agree to meet? President Kim asked doubtfully. They have to, Tay explained. It is one of their oldest laws. A species facing military action has the right to speak before the full council. Yuna nodded. I will go. I will speak to the entire council. I will make them understand. General Park shook his head. It is too dangerous. If they want to harm you, we cannot protect you out there. I know, Yuna said. But someone must take this risk. If I do not try, war becomes certain. If I try, there is at least a chance for peace. The room was silent. Everyone knew she was right. But sending her into the heart of the alien alliance felt like sending her to her death. President Kim finally spoke. You have courage, Yuna. The courage of all humanity. Go and speak for us. Make them see who we truly are. Yuna sent a message to the Galactic Council. She requested an emergency session under their ancient laws. The council could not refuse. 3 days later, Yuna's small ship flew toward the council headquarters. It was surrounded by alien warships the entire way. The massive vessels made her ship look like a tiny insect. Tay was with her. He had refused to let her go alone. "Are you afraid?" Tay asked. As they approached the giant space station, Yuna looked out the window. The council headquarters was enormous. It was a city floating in space, home to billions of aliens from thousands of species. "Yes," she admitted. "But fear will not stop me. Fear has never stopped humanity." Their ship landed in a small docking bay. Armed guards waited for them. The guards were tall, with hard faces. They did not look friendly. "Follow us," one guard said. "The council is waiting." Yuna and Tay walked through long corridors. Aliens of all shapes and sizes watched them pass. Some looked curious. Many looked hostile. A few looked sympathetic. They reached the great hall. The doors were massive, made of a metal that shone like gold. The doors opened slowly, revealing the largest room Yuna had ever seen. Thousands of seats rose in circles around a central platform. Every seat was filled. Thousands of eyes turned to look at the two small humans walking in. Yuna felt her heart beating fast. But she kept her face calm. She walked with her head high. Elder Torek sat in the highest seat. His blue feathers were still, but his eyes showed concern. Commander Noth sat nearby, his red scales dark with suspicion. Yuna and Tay reached the central platform. They stood alone under the weight of thousands of staring eyes. "You requested this session," Noth said coldly. "Speak." Yuna took a deep breath. This was her chance. Her only chance. The fate of humanity rested on her words. "Members of the Galactic Council," she began, "I stand before you as a representative of Earth. I know you are afraid of us. I know you think we refused your gifts because we are planning war. I am here to tell you the truth." The hall was completely silent. Every alien was listening. "Humanity did not refuse your offer because we want to fight you. We refused because we want to earn our place among you. We want to stand as equals, not as children who received gifts from their parents." Noth interrupted. "Fine words. But your actions speak differently. You are building ships. You are improving weapons. Why would a peaceful species do this?" Because we are preparing ourselves," Yuna replied. "Not to attack you. To protect ourselves and to explore the universe. Every species has the right to grow strong. This does not mean we want war. Your species has a history of violence," Mira, the Vorn leader, said. "You have fought countless wars among yourselves. How can we trust that you will not bring this violence to the galaxy?" Yuna nodded. "Yes, we have fought wars. We have made terrible mistakes. But we have also learned from those mistakes. Each generation becomes better than the last. That is how humanity grows, through struggle and learning." Torek spoke for the first time. "What exactly are you asking from us today?" Yuna looked directly at him. "I am asking for time. Give us the chance to prove ourselves. Do not judge us by your fears. Judge us by our actions. Watch us, study us, and when we are ready, when we have grown strong on our own, we will return to this hall. Not as strangers, but as equals." The hall remained silent. Yuna could feel the tension in the air. The aliens were thinking, considering, judging. Commander Noth stood up. "Words are easy. Anyone can say they want peace. But trust is earned through proof. What proof can you offer?" Yuna had prepared for this question. "I offer myself. I will stay here, at the council headquarters, as a permanent ambassador. If humanity ever shows hostile intentions, you can hold me responsible. My life for the peace between our peoples." Gasps filled the hall. Even Tay looked shocked. This was not part of their plan. "Yuna," Tay whispered. "What are you doing?" "What I must," she whispered back. Elder Torek rose slowly from his seat. His ancient eyes studied the small human woman standing alone on the platform. "You would sacrifice yourself for your species?" Torek asked. "Gladly. Yuna answered without hesitation. That is what it means to be human. The hall erupted in discussion. Aliens talked among themselves, trying to understand this strange creature who offered her own life for peace. For the first time, many of them began to see humanity differently, not as a threat, but as something new, something unexpected, something remarkable. The great hall buzzed with conversation. Thousands of aliens discussed what they had just witnessed. A human had offered her own life for peace. This was something none of them had expected. Elder Torek raised his hand for silence. Slowly, the hall became quiet again. This is an unusual situation, Torek said. The human has made an offer. But before we respond, I believe we should hear more. We should understand why humanity truly refused our gifts. Commander Noth crossed his arms. His face showed doubt, but even he was curious now. Torek looked at Yuna. Please, explain your philosophy to us. Help us understand how humans think. Yuna nodded. She took a moment to gather her thoughts. Then, she began to speak. For thousands of years, humans have struggled to survive. Our planet is dangerous. We have faced ice ages, diseases, wars, and disasters. Many times, we nearly destroyed ourselves. But we did not. We survived. We grew stronger. She paused to let her words settle. Every challenge made us better. When we faced hunger, we learned to farm. When we faced disease, we learned medicine. When we faced distance, we built ships and planes. Our greatest achievements came from our greatest struggles. Tay stepped forward to support her. We have studied the Council's history. We have learned about many species who accepted your gifts. Can I share what we discovered? Torek nodded. Please. Tay activated a small device. A hologram appeared in the air, showing charts and numbers. This is the lore species, Tay said. The hologram showed a graph going upward. Before they joined the Council, they were inventors. They created new technology every year. Their scientists were famous across their planet. The graph suddenly changed direction, going downward. After they accepted the Council's gifts, their invention rate dropped by 90%. Why create something new when everything has already been given to you? Whispers filled the hall. Some aliens looked uncomfortable. Tay changed the hologram. This is the Veth species. Before joining, they had the fastest growing population in their sector. Their people were energetic and ambitious. The graph showed another downward trend. After joining, their population growth stopped. Their people lost motivation. Why work hard when all your needs are already met? More whispers. Some aliens shifted in their seats. We found similar patterns in dozens of species, Tay continued. The Council's gifts are wonderful, but they come with a hidden cost. Species that receive everything stop growing. They become dependent. They lose the fire that made them special. Commander Noth stood up angrily. Are you accusing the Council of harming species? We have helped countless civilizations. We are not accusing you, Yuna said calmly. We believe your intentions are good. But good intentions can have unintended consequences. You give because you care. But sometimes, giving too much can hurt more than help. Elder Torek's feathers moved slowly. He was deep in thought. I have lived for 2,000 years. I have seen many species join the Council. And I must admit, what you say has truth. Elder, Noth protested, you cannot agree with these outsiders. I am not agreeing or disagreeing, Torek replied. I am listening, something we should all do more of. The hall became quiet. Torek turned to Yuna. Continue, please. Tell us what you believe a true partnership should look like. Yuna nodded gratefully. A true partnership is between equals. Both sides give, and both sides receive. Both sides grow stronger together. She walked slowly across the platform as she spoke. When you offer us everything, the relationship is not equal. You become the parent, and we become the child. You become the teacher, and we become the student who never graduates. This is not partnership. This is dependency. Mira, the Vorn leader, raised her hand. But if we do not give you our technology, You will take centuries to develop it yourself. Is that not wasteful? Is a flower wasteful because it takes time to bloom? Yuna asked. The time is part of the process. The struggle is part of the beauty. A flower that is forced to open early is not the same as one that blooms naturally. The hall was completely silent. Many aliens were hearing ideas they had never considered before. Humanity wants to grow naturally, Yuna continued. We want to make our own discoveries. Build our own ships. Cure our own diseases. When we finally achieve something, it will truly be ours. And then, when we come to the council, we will come with something to offer, not empty hands waiting to receive. Elder Torek leaned forward. What could humans possibly offer us? Our technology is thousands of years ahead of yours, Yuna smiled. Perhaps not technology. Perhaps something more valuable. What could be more valuable than technology? Noth asked sarcastically. Perspective. Yuna answered. A new way of seeing things. We have noticed something about the council. You have had peace for a very long time. You have solved all your problems, but you have also stopped asking new questions. She pulled out a small device and displayed images of human art, music, and invention. Humans never stop asking questions. We wonder about everything. Why is the sky blue? What exists beyond the edge of the universe? What happens when we die? These questions have no practical value, but they drive us to explore, to create, to dream. The images showed paintings, sculptures, symphonies, and poems. The aliens watched with strange fascination. This is what humans can offer, Yuna said. Not technology, not weapons, but curiosity, wonder, the ability to see the universe with fresh eyes. The galaxy is old and stable. Perhaps it needs some new questions. Torek's feathers were moving rapidly now. He was excited, though he tried to hide it. I have not heard new questions in a very long time, he admitted softly. Even Commander Noth seemed less hostile. He sat back in his seat, thinking deeply. Tay spoke again. There is one more thing we want to share. Something important about human nature. He displayed a new set of images. They showed humans helping each other during disasters. Doctors treating patients. Parents protecting children. Strangers saving strangers. Humans are not peaceful by nature, Tay admitted. We can be violent and cruel, but we can also be kind and brave. When we see someone in trouble, we help. When we see injustice, we fight against it. This is our contradiction. Our greatest weakness is also our greatest strength. We do not ask for your trust immediately, Yuna added. Trust must be earned. We only ask for a chance to earn it. Watch us, study us, and if we ever prove ourselves worthy, welcome us as equals. The hall was silent for a long moment. Then, slowly, something strange happened. An alien in the upper seat started clapping. Then another. Then another. The clapping spread through the hall like a wave. Soon, thousands of aliens were applauding. Not all of them, but many. More than Yuna had expected. Elder Torek stood up. He raised his hand, and the clapping stopped. I have heard enough, he said. I propose that we discuss this matter privately. The humans deserve a fair judgment. Noth stood up as well. I agree. There is much to consider. Yuna and Tay were led out of the hall. They waited in a small room while the council discussed their fate. Hours passed. Tay paced nervously. Yuna sat quietly, her eyes closed. How can you be so calm? Tay asked. I said what needed to be said, Yuna replied. The rest is not in my control. But what if they decide against us? What if they attack Earth? Yuna opened her eyes. Then, we will face it. Together. The same way humans have faced every challenge. We will not surrender. We will not give up. We will fight until our last breath. Tay sat down beside her. I am scared. So am I, Yuna admitted. But fear is not weakness. Fear is a reminder that something important is at stake. The bravest people I know are afraid all the time. They just do not let fear stop them. More hours passed. Finally, the door opened. A guard stood there. "The council has reached a decision," the guard said. "Please follow me." Yuna and Tay walked back to the Great Hall. This time, the mood was different. The hostility had faded. In its place was something else. Something that looked almost like respect. Elder Torek stood at the center of the platform. His blue feathers glowed softly in the light. "We have discussed your words for many hours," Torek said. There was much disagreement. But in the end, we reached a decision. Yuna held her breath. "The Galactic Council has decided to grant humanity a new status. One that has never existed before." He paused for effect. "We call it observer status. You will not be members of the Council. You will not receive our technology or protection. But you will have the right to observe our proceedings, to learn from watching us, and to grow at your own pace." Yuna felt tears forming in her eyes. "Thank you." "Furthermore," Torek continued, "our military fleets will withdraw from your sector. You will have the space you need to grow independently." Tay grabbed Yuna's hand and squeezed it tightly. "This is unprecedented," Torek said. "You are the first species to refuse our help and earn our respect because of it. I hope you will prove us right to trust you." Yuna bowed her head. "We will not disappoint you." As she looked up, she saw something amazing. Commander Noth, the military leader who had wanted to destroy them, was nodding in approval. Even he had been moved by their words. Humanity had won. Not through weapons or threats, but through honesty, pride, and the courage to be different. The news spread across the galaxy like light from a new star. Humanity had been granted observer status, the first species in galactic history to refuse the Council's gifts and earn something entirely new. On Earth, celebrations erupted in every city. People danced in the streets. Fireworks lit up the night sky. For the first time, humanity felt truly united. They had faced the unknown together and emerged stronger. Yuna and Tay returned home as heroes. But Yuna did not feel like celebrating. She knew that their real work was just beginning. In Seoul, she met with the leaders of the united government. They gathered in the same room where she had first announced her refusal. "You did the impossible," President Kim said. "You changed the minds of beings who have lived for thousands of years." Yuna shook her head. "I did not change their minds. I showed them who we are. The truth did the rest." General Park stepped forward. He had been one of her strongest critics. Now, he bowed his head in respect. "I was wrong to doubt you," he said. "Your courage saved us all." "It was not just my courage," Yuna replied. "It was humanity's courage. Every person on this planet who refused to give up. Every person who believed we could earn our place in the galaxy." Prime Minister Lee smiled. "What happens now? What does observer status actually mean?" Tay answered this question. "It means we can watch council proceedings. We can learn how they govern, how they solve problems, how they think, but we cannot participate in voting or receive any direct assistance. So we watch and learn," President Kim said. "But we still have to solve our own problems." "Exactly," Yuna said. "And that is precisely what we wanted." At the council headquarters, Elder Torek faced a difficult situation. Many aliens were unhappy with the decision. They thought the council had shown weakness by creating a new status just for humans. Commander Noth met with Torek privately. The military leader had changed since the council session. He was quieter, more thoughtful. "I must admit something," Noth said. "I was wrong about the humans." Torek nodded. "It takes strength to admit mistakes." "What changed your mind?" "The woman, Yuna." Noth shook his head slowly. "She offered her life without hesitation. I have led armies for 300 years. I have seen many species, but I have never seen such fearless sacrifice." "Humans call it love," Torek said. "Love for their species, love for their home. It makes them do impossible things." "We have no word for that in my language," Noth admitted. "Perhaps we should create one." As the days passed, the effects of the council's decision became clear. Other species started asking questions they had never asked before. A young Vorn scientist requested permission to study human culture. She wanted to understand their art and music. The council granted her request. A group of lore engineers began working on new inventions. For the first time in centuries, they tried to create something original, instead of just using existing technology. Even the Torani, Ambassador Vrel's species, started discussing new ideas. They debated philosophy and purpose, topics they had ignored for thousands of years. Torek watched these changes with wonder. The humans had not even joined the council, and they were already changing it. Perhaps this is what we needed, Torek said to himself, a reminder of what it means to grow. On Earth, humanity threw itself into work with new energy. Scientists pushed harder than ever. Engineers built better ships. Doctors discovered new treatments. Artists created masterpieces. The world was united by a shared purpose, to prove themselves worthy of the galaxy's respect. 5 years passed. Yuna stood on the observation deck of a new space station orbiting Earth. The station was built entirely with human technology. No alien help, no borrowed designs. Pure human achievement. Tay stood beside her. He was older now, with gray appearing in his hair, but his eyes still shone with the same curiosity. "We did it," Tay said quietly. "We are doing it," Yuna corrected. "The journey never ends." A message arrived from the council headquarters. Elder Torek was requesting a video call. Yuna accepted. Torek's image appeared on the screen. His blue feathers had become lighter with age, but his eyes were bright. "Greetings, old friend," Torek said. "Elder Torek," Yuna smiled. "It has been too long." "And, Elder Torek." "I have been watching humanity's progress," Torek said. "Your species continues to amaze me. Your scientists just solved a problem that our researchers have struggled with for centuries. The gravity equation," Yuna nodded. "Our mathematicians found a new approach." "A new approach," Torek repeated with wonder. "That is exactly what you promised. Fresh eyes, new questions. You were right about everything." Yuna felt pride, but also humility. "We still have much to learn." "As do we," Torek said. "I have a proposal for you. The Council wants to offer humanity something new. Not gifts, not technology, but an invitation." Yuna leaned forward. "What kind of invitation?" "We want to create a joint research program. Humans and Council species working together. Equal partners. Learning from each other." Yuna was silent for a moment. This was different from the original offer. This was partnership. Real partnership. "I will discuss this with our leaders," Yuna said, "but I believe they will agree." "There is more," Torek continued. "Several species have requested permission to send their young people to Earth. They want to study how humans think, how humans create, how humans dream." Tay laughed softly. "They want to learn from us?" "Yes," Torek said. "You have something we lost long ago. The ability to struggle and grow stronger from it. We want to remember how that feels." The call ended with promises to talk again soon. Yuna stood quietly, looking at the stars. "We changed them," Tay said. "By refusing their help, we helped them more than they ever helped anyone else. We reminded them of something important," Yuna replied. "The gift of struggle. The value of earning what you have. These are lessons every civilization must learn." Below them, Earth turned slowly. Cities glowed with light. Ships launched from spaceports. Billions of people worked, dreamed, and hoped. Yuna thought about her own journey. She had started as a diplomat with an impossible task. She had faced the most powerful alliance in the galaxy and refused their greatest offer. She had stood alone before thousands of aliens and spoken the truth about humanity. And it had worked, not because humans were stronger or smarter than the aliens, but because humans were different. They carried something special inside them. A fire that burned even in the darkest times. A refusal to give up. A need to earn their place in the universe. "What do you think happens next?" Tay asked. Yuna smiled. "Everything," Nothing. The same as always. Humans will face new challenges. We will make mistakes. We will learn. We will grow. And the council? They will watch us. Some will become our friends. Some will remain suspicious. But they will all learn something from us, just as we will learn from them. Years later, historians would mark this moment as the beginning of a new era. The era of questions, they called it. A time when the galaxy stopped accepting easy answers and started searching for deeper truths. Humanity never did accept the Council's original offer. They never took the free technology, the colony planets, or the protection treaties. They earned everything themselves. And when they finally joined the Galactic Council as full members, they came with hands full of gifts, new technologies they had invented, new art forms they had created, new philosophies they had developed. They came not as children seeking parents, but as equals seeking partners. Elder Torek, who lived long enough to see that day, spoke to the Council one final time. "Thousands of years ago," he said, "we thought we knew what made a species great. We thought it was technology, power, and advancement. But the humans taught us a different lesson." He paused, his old eyes shining. "They showed us that greatness is not what you have. It is who you are. It is the fire inside that refuses to die. The courage to stand alone. The wisdom to know that some gifts must be earned, not given." He looked at Yuna, who sat proudly among the council members. "Thank you," Torek said, "for reminding us what it means to be truly alive." And across the Great Hall, thousands of aliens from thousands of species rose to their feet. They applauded not just for humanity, but for the lesson humanity had taught them. The lesson that sometimes the greatest gift is the refusal of all gifts. The lesson that the hardest path is often the most rewarding. The lesson that humanity would never, ever give up.